The Hornets to punt the ball on 4th down. Bad snap. And Franks is creamed. Correction, number 9, Stacy Robinson, the quarterback, unable to get the punt off. And the Seahawks will have it 1st and 10 in excellent field position. The ball just about midfield. Call it the 47-yard line of Skyline. 1st and 10 for the Seahawks. We'll see if their quarterback, Jay Anderson, can get this Seahawk offense untracked. Anderson wants to go to the air. Got a man over there, but no blocking support for number 42, Lonnie Bergeron, and he'll only be able to pick up a couple of yards. Anderson 2 for 4 on the day. Of course, the first 2 with penalties involved. 1 against VP and 1 an incomplete pass that was nullified on a motion or illegal procedure call against the offense. Anderson, however, connects on his next 2. The last one to Michael Johnson, and this one here to Lonnie Bergeron on a swing pass. Number 32 with a nice run up the middle, but a tough pop by number 43, Mario Evans Johnson. Haven't called his name in quite a while, but he shows up just in time to lower the boom on Reggie Nelson. Big hit there by Mario Evans Johnson. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 4 yards to go. 8.5 minutes left in this championship game. Time becoming a critical factor. Lonnie Bergeron tries the left side. Won't get the 1st down as he's met by a swarm of Hornets. 4th down and about 2 yards to go. Coming up with the biggest play of the game. The Seahawk offense may not get this generous of field position, and they will wisely, at the 8:07 mark of the 4th quarter, call a timeout. Head coach Richard Hayes and his offensive coordinator going to talk things over with the quarterback, Jay Anderson. His team trailing 13-6 with 8:07 left to go in the game. 4th and 2, big play. Anderson unable to make the handoff exchange, going to have to do it himself, and going to be unable to, as number 43, Mario Evans Johnson, with the initial hit, finished off by number 40, Freddie Edwards. Great pursuit by the entire Valencia Park Hornet defense for the 1st and 10. Quarterback Stacy Robinson hands off to Raymond Jackson once again. Gonna just want to be content in using up that clock. Inside 7.5 minutes to go now. And if they can consume 3 or 4 minutes from the game clock and perhaps get the ball down around the 15 or 20-yard line, it would give Skyline a scant few minutes to move it 80 or 85 yards back up the field the other way. The Hornets just 7 minutes now away from winning the Q Bowl championship. Number 33, Raymond Jackson, tries the left side. Big speed. If he goes all the way, this game's over. Raymond Jackson goes in for the touchdown. Raymond Jackson with a huge run around the left side, breaking numerous tackles. And with 6:49 left to go in the game, the Hornets, with what may be an insurmountable 19-6 lead. The Hornet faithful behind us chanting, "Who dat talking about beating them Hornets?" And pro football fans know that's a line they borrowed from New Orleans, as they're going crazy down there chanting, "Who dat talking about beating them Saints?" But today it's all Hornets. They lead it 19-6, courtesy of Raymond Jackson's 3 big touchdowns. The Hornet cheerleaders certainly have had a lot to cheer about, as the VP squad enjoying a 19-6 lead. We're shooting from the end zone, of course, now with the conversion. Fumble on the exchange, and this conversion will be unsuccessful. But the Hornets, following another big Raymond Jackson touchdown, have jumped out to a big 19-6 advantage. 6 minutes and 49 seconds left in the first of 5 Q Bowl championship games. The Hornets lead it 19-6. Number 81, Michael Yancey, kicking off once again for the Hornets. Jay Anderson scoops it up, running the wrong way. Now he's heading in the proper direction, gains 7 or 8 yards, and the Seahawk offense with its work cut out. And this is a first. George and I being joined by some visitors up above the field. A small swarm of seagulls, it appears, not Seahawks, as it's a Hornet day today. I'm not up on my bird lingo, so I can't tell you exactly what kind of birds those are. Nice pass attempt from Jay Anderson to John Turnage. However, it falls incomplete as defending on the play, number 26, Chris Hinton. Called Hinton's name on the interference play earlier in the contest, Anderson's first pass attempt. 6:36 left to go now in this championship game. The Hornets enjoying a 19-6 lead. And the Hornet crowd behind us really getting in on the act as they have been throughout. Turnage almost moved prematurely. Anderson not going to be able to get this one away. Drop at or behind the line of scrimmage by number 76, Ramad Conley. Conley told you when he was shaken up earlier that he was a good one and that he'd be missed if he were banged up severely. Good news for Coach Brown, he wasn't, and he's in there on that sack of quarterback Jay Anderson as we're just about the 6-minute mark now. 3rd and long. The ball right where the Seahawks started with it following the kickoff return by Jay Anderson. Now the quarterback, Anderson, facing a 3rd and 10 with 5:55 to go in the championship. Brian Sackett along with George Marble and spotter Lee Bostic for Video Depot, bringing you all the action, and certainly hope you're enjoying it. Been a well-played game. Only a handful of penalties on both sides of the football. A game that has featured, as anticipated, the running of Raymond Jackson for head coach Charles Brown's Valencia Park Hornets. And Reggie Nelson, Lonnie Bergeron, Jay Anderson just unable to counter out here today for Skyline, still wanting to call them the Seattle Seahawks. They trail at 19-6 with 5 minutes and 19 seconds left. From Mira Mesa High School, 19-6, Valencia Park. Seahawks in a must situation here on 4th and 8. Anderson dropping way back, throws a bomb that could be picked off. Defending on the play, number 22, John Robinson, and Russell Ivory, number 44, as the ball falls incomplete. The Hornet offense trots back out onto the field with 5 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the game. It's all Valencia Park. They lead it 19-6. Pardon? Raymond Jackson on the ball carry again over the right side, wearing down that Skyline Seahawk defense as the Hornet offense has been out on the field the majority of this second half. Less than 5 minutes to go now, separating the Hornets from the Q Bowl title. Head coach Charles Brown, all smiles over here on the sidelines, and with good reason. His team enjoying a 2-touchdown advantage. 19-6. All the guys very much into the game as they're sensing the championship. 4.5 minutes left now as Raymond Jackson finds a crease over the left side. He's going to go again. Raymond Jackson going to score his 4th touchdown of the game. Raymond Jackson having a field day out here today. And the entire sidelines for Valencia Park having a field day also. Raymond Jackson explodes out here today. 4 touchdowns on the day. And the Hornets explode themselves to a 25-6 lead with 4:21 left to go in the championship. It's all Valencia Park in the second half. Jackson with the first two in the first half staked them to a 13-0 advantage, only to have Bergeron counter with a score of his own to cut it to 13-6. Quarterback Stacy Robinson on the keeper increases that lead to 26-6, and this one's all but over. 4 minutes and 21 seconds left. Head coach Charles Brown with a lot to be pleased with from this performance today. We'll get with head coach Charles Brown and Raymond Jackson. The crowd once again chanting, "Who dat talking about beating them Hornets?" And now the boys on the sideline also in on the act, chanting, "Who dat talking about beating them Hornets?" Valencia Park going to play in the first 3 championship games today. And the kickoff coming up. Number 81, Michael Yancey. Quarterback Jay Anderson been receiving most of these kickoffs, but it's a bullet received by number 30, Deshane Gray. And Gray gets up only around to the 40-yard line before being brought down by a host of Hornets. The defense for Valencia Park doing a great job. We may have an injury on the play as head coach Charles Brown races out on the field. The junior Pee Wee cheerleaders from Valencia Park leading the Hornet hopeful in a chorus of cheers and ruckus behind us as the Hornets have exploded in the second half, courtesy of Raymond Jackson, to a 26-6 advantage with 4 minutes and 12 seconds left in the game. Quarterback Jay Anderson preparing to take the snap on 1st and 10 for the Seahawk offense. Drops back to pass, throws a bomb, and it's picked off. Number 22 on the interception. John Robinson. We've called his name quite a bit out here today. John Robinson intercepts the Anderson pass attempt, and this one's all over. 3:50 left. The Hornet offense will be content in just running out the clock. 26-6. They lead. It's all Valencia Park out here today in the Q Bowl Championship of the Junior Pee Wee Division. A penalty of unknown origin on the return brings the ball back to the 41-yard line. And we have a new running back in there as Coach Charles Brown, sensing victory, hands off to number 61. That looks like a lineman, Bobby Greer. Haven't called his name all game. Interesting use of Bobby Greer in the backfield there, if that was number 61. And it was, as Greer again lined up in the backfield along with number 82, Trelane Barkley, behind quarterback Stacy Robinson. Robinson at the helm all day for the Valencia Park Hornet offense, has done a great job as again Bobby Greer over the left side, brought down by number 33 on the play, Jason Riley.
Hey, Bobby Greer, when you're here, Hart, run to the hole, don't stay there, okay?
An injury on the play, it looks like might be number 52 or 53, Aubrey Moore or Clarence Black. Both of those boys have enjoyed big success today. Checking back into the lineup for the injured player, number 55, Trineo Ross, who himself has had a fine game. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left to go now. Brian Sackett, George Marble, and spotter Lee Bostic bringing you all the action for Video Depot as Greer again rumbles and rambles over the left side before being brought down by number 6, Mark Alexander. We've called Alexander's number a couple of times. But that usually means bad news for a defense when your strong safety or one of your cornermen has got to come up to make so many tackles. Generally a sign that the opposing offensive line is firing off of the football and moving the defensive line several yards back from the line of scrimmage. As we're inside 2 minutes to go now, Greer again over the right side. Nobody able to bring this man down. Greer blasting through number 21, Richard Hayes. And Glendale Green, number 41, able to bring him down. Bobby Greer could be a William the Refrigerator Perry in disguise for this Valencia Park Hornet offense, as he's unleashing one big run after another. 1 minute and 38 seconds to go in the game. Valencia Park going to win the first championship out here today. Junior Pee Wee division. They lead at 26-6. And with 1:25, only 3 or 4 more snaps from center, Jesse Franks to quarterback Stacy Robinson, separating the Valencia Park Hornet organization and their head coach Charles Brown from the Q Bowl championship. Just about a minute to go now. Maybe time for 2 more snaps. And don't be surprised if it's Greer again. It is, this time over the left side. Bobby Greer just having a ball, getting the ball 4 or 5 times in a row now, and running against a Skyline Seahawk defense that we thought might be worn out by this juncture of the contest. 35 seconds left, and the Hornets are going to win this championship 26-6. The game was really a lot closer than the score may indicate. After a 13-6 half, we had a scoreless third quarter before Raymond Jackson, who scored all 4 touchdowns and will be joining George and I with his head coach, Charles Brown, exploded for 2 more in the fourth quarter. The Valencia Park Hornets win the championship of the Junior Pee Wee division. Coming up, we'll be with head coach Charles Brown, Raymond Jackson, and see if we can get a word with head coach Richard Hayes from the Skyline Seahawk organization. They go down to defeat today, 26-6, to the Valencia Park Hornets, and an awesome performance by running back Raymond Jackson. All the post-game comments coming up for Video Depot. Head coach Charles Brown of the victorious Valencia Park Hornets. You're all smiles, and obviously so.
It is sweet. This is the first time in the last 2 years that we've actually, no, I take that back. We beat them in regular season last year, but we tied in the Q Bowl. Then we tied this year. It wasn't going to be a tie today. And a couple of my friends up in the stands were saying, when are you going to be, aren't you tired of being co-champs? We said, watch this today. And so that's what happened.
Well, Coach, let me tell you, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Okay.
And we're really proud of our Saints right now, and we feel that we have started the chant, "Who dat talking about beating them Saints?" That's, of course, the chant that's becoming popular throughout the NFL.
Correct.
Is that where the Valencia Park Hornet organization borrowed that chant from?
Well, we don't know. I think we started before when the Saints were wearing bags over their heads. That's when we had that. Because we changed all our names this year. Before, we had a team in the Pee Wee division that was called the Saints. And they're the ones who originally started that chant, who they talk about beating those Saints. Okay, then we heard at the New Orleans came a little bit better, then they started it. So we don't know where it actually originated.
Well, we'll have to find out. We'll call some folks in New Orleans. We're going to get the stars of the game in with us. No doubt, if you had to pick one, it's got to be Raymond, of course, with the four touchdowns. But Stacy Robinson did a remarkable job calling your offense all day.
Absolutely. Those two, and also with Trelane Barkley in the backfield, they were great offensively. And defensively, without John Robinson, he was a coach on the field. John Robinson was our defensive coach on the field because he played with me last year also. And he knows what I want or expect other kids. And he got the last part of the season, I didn't have to do a whole lot on the field because of John. And he showed by that last interception.
And that's interesting because, of course, John Robinson is coach with Los Angeles Rams. Let's get Raymond Jackson in here if we can. Star of the game, number 33, Raymond Jackson. George and I have been covering these games all year long, and I've never seen anybody score 4 touchdowns in one game. You got to feel great.
I do. I feel very great.
Well, you guys finished the regular season 7-1-1, and then you beat El Cajon and Grossmont on your way to this title game. This was a game that ended in a tie last year, the Q Bowl championship between these same two teams. Coach said no ties today. How you feel about that?
Fine.
Well, what's going to happen for Raymond Jackson next year? You going to go up in division?
Yes, sir.
Who are you going to be playing for next year?
Saints.
And that's the Valencia Park Saints?
Yes, sir.
And that's going to be the Pee Wee division, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, we'll look for more out of Raymond Jackson. You don't have to call me sir. I'm just a few years older than you are. Raymond Jackson, 4 touchdowns today, responsible for all of the points for Valencia Park, 26-6 winners. Thank you, Raymond.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you. We got 2 more stars and a story within a story here. Quarterback Stacy Robinson and his brother, defensive captain today, coach on the field for the defense, John Robinson, number 22. Let's get you guys to face George and the camera. Stacy, tell me about your job calling that offense today. You guys really look sharp on offense.
Yeah, well, the coach helped us, and with him helping us, we could do anything we wanted to do. That's it.
If you had to find a point in the game where this thing really opened up for you, would you go all the way back to the first quarter when Barkley ran around the right side to set up your first touchdown to get you out in front early?
Yeah.
Because that set up Jackson's first score, and then you went up 13-0. They countered, of course, with a touchdown of their own. You went into the locker room 13-6 at the half, and we still had a ball game. Tell me about the second half when you really exploded in the fourth quarter.
Well, the coach was yelling at us because we wasn't as fired up as we was the last week, and he said we just started have to do our job so we can just beat them and blow them out.
Well, last week, correct me if I'm wrong, you beat Grossmont 27-12.
Yeah.
And that was the regular season champion, but not today. You guys ruled out here today at Mira Mesa High School. Let's get your brother in here for a comment. Tell us about the defense. John Robinson, number 22. I called your name all day long, and of course you sealed this win this afternoon now with the interception at the end of the game. Tell me about your game and the game turned in by your whole Hornet defense.
Our coach said in the beginning of the season, Grossmont had beat us. He said we have to get Grossmont back. When we beat Grossmont, he said we have to break that tie that we had last year against Skyline and this year.
Well, you guys get total redemption then, because after a regular season loss to Grossmont, you come back and beat them last week, and of course after a tie 12-12 in the regular season with this Seahawk team, you beat them today for all the marbles. How you feel about that?
Feel good.
What's going to happen for John Robinson next year for you and your brother?
I'm going to go up.
You going up to the Pee Wee division?
Uh-huh.
And is your brother going with you?
He might.
All right, well, we look forward to working with both the Robinson boys, Raymond Jackson and head coach Charles Brown. Valencia Park 26-6 winners today. We'll get with head coach Richard Hayes from the Seahawks right after this. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
The tone, of course, a little different on this side. Head coach Richard Hayes. Bottom kind of fell out there in the fourth quarter. We thought your defense might get a little tired in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, I guess they laxed a little bit. A lot of them didn't do what they was told, but they played their heart out. They did the best that we asked, so they played the best they can play.
What happens for head coach Richard Hayes for next year? Are you going to stay with the same squad, or are you going to go up?
I'll probably stay down. I'll go and coach Junior P level next year, too. Probably me and the whole coaching staff.
Well, 7-1-1, a great season, and all the way to the Q Bowl championship, certainly nothing to be ashamed of.
No, I'm trying to get the kids to hold their head up because all of them got their head down, but like I said, they have nothing to be ashamed about because they all, like I said, they played a great game, just to wind up at the bottom, but it's no big thing. Like I said, they played a great game, and I'm proud of them.
And certainly one you got to be especially proud of, Lonnie Bergeron, number 42, running back, scored the only touchdown out here today, and it looked like that touchdown might get this team back in the game at 13-6. Tell me about that play and about the third quarter, even when you were able to have a scoreless third quarter and it was still 13-6 going into the fourth.
Well, I was lucky to have good blocks and stuff, and I just put the ball in the end zone, and I scored, and I was happy. And I thought we would catch up, but it didn't work out.
Any key blocks on your touchdown run?
Yeah, John, he made a big block, and Billy Todd, he made a good block too on that.
Can you show us your trophy? Shot of the Pop Warner football, a winning combination, scholarship, fun, and safety in 1988. Junior Pee Wee, Q Bowl runner-ups. The Skyline Seahawks, we'll see a lot more of you next year. Lonnie Bergeron, head coach Richard Hayes, 26-6, the final from Mira Mesa High School, Valencia Park. Your winners over Skyline. Thanks a lot, guys.
Okay.
Thanks.
Coach, closing word. You're standing with the embellishment of your season, the championship one for Valencia Park.
This one's real sweet. I brought this one back. I brought the trophy back this morning because I had it from last year, and I told them I was going to take it home again. And so here it is.
And take it home they did. The Valencia Park Hornets, 26-6 winners, big winners today over the Skyline Seahawks. That's a wrap for Mira Mesa, the first of 5 games, VP in the next 2. Kickoff for the 1 o'clock game just moments away.